Hi, everybody. My name is Ben Baker, and my company is Your Brand Marketing, and welcome to the third week in the series, Tips for Leaders. Now, the world has changed since February 12th, 2020. On February 12th, 2020, we were at 29,000 on the Dow. Unemployment was at a record low, and the economy looked strong. Now, we're 10,000 points underneath that. As of last week in Canada, 300,000 people applied for unemployment insurance. That is 10 times what it was this time last year. These are realities. It's time to breathe. It's time to breathe again. It's time to assess where we are, what's going on, what our current reality is, what our strengths are, what our opportunities are, and how we can move forward and be able to communicate this in an effective manner. That's what leaders need to do. Leaders need to stop panicking. They need to stop running around looking at solution after solution and sit down and sit there and say, okay, this is reality. This is where we are today. These are our current situations. We have this amount of staff. Do we need this amount of staff? We have these type of resources. How can we utilize them effectively? Can we retool? There are many organizations right now that are sitting there looking at different opportunities. How can they support the healthcare industry? How can they support logistics? How can they support the people that are busy right now? Because even in a crisis, even in a time of the market going, crazy, there are opportunities. And it's a matter for leadership to stop and look around them and see what the opportunities are. What are the strengths of your particular company? What are the things that you do well? How can you retool to be able to be more effective and move forward? And that comes down to communication. The key thing you need to be able to do is talk to your teams. You need to be able to talk to your teams. You need to sit there and say, okay, where are we? What are we doing? How are we being effective? What is working? What's not working? What are the challenges people are having, whether they're working from home or they're working from the office, and be able to sit there and say, what are the things that over the last 3 weeks, we've implemented some strategies. What's worked? What's gone well? What are the things that are being effective? How are people being successful and how are they not being successful? And sit there and say, okay, what do we need to do to change this? What do we need to do to be more effective? What do we need to do to be able to put people in a position where they can succeed better and give them ownership? Conversations amongst your teams to sit there and say, okay, who's got an idea? You know what? In this particular situation, there are no bad ideas. Put everything out there. Look at some different ideas. Different people within your company are going to have different ideas of how you can succeed moving forward. And their ideas, no matter where they come from, could be the one thing that you need to succeed and thrive over the next 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, when we get through this and beyond. So we need to start thinking critically. We need to start sitting there going, okay, just because we've always done this, just because we've always manufactured this, just because this is our product line and this is what we do, doesn't mean that's what we have to be doing right now. We need to sit there and say, what are the skills? What are the skills of the people we have in-house? What are the, what is the tooling we have in-house? What is the processes and procedures that we have in-house? Who can we help? Who's busy right now? I mean, yes, if your current clients need your help, great. And you need to be there for them and you need to be communicating with them to find out, how can I help you? But it's also looking at who else is out there that you've never talked to that could use your help, that you have a skill set that could help them survive and thrive. And that's what this is all about. That's true leadership, is to have interdepartmental meetings, to have different people from different departments get together and talk to one another and sit there and say, okay, what are we doing well? What aren't we doing well? What's ineffective? What's causing frustration? What's causing friction? What's causing things to slow down? How do we fix this together? How do we work together to be able to fix these things and be able to work this? Because your people are scared. They're scared. They're unsure of what's going on, and they need your support and they need your leadership. They need your guidance and they need your communication. Air Canada just laid off 5,000 of their flight attendants. The entire entertainment industry, the hotel industry, the convention industry, everybody who supports the convention industry, the public speakers, the caterers, the meeting planners, all those people have been wiped out for the next 6 months. And they're all getting together and they're talking amongst each other and say, okay, what do we do now? Because it's not about putting your head in the sand and sitting there going, oh, woe is me. Business is down. Business is going to be down. How do we fix this? How do we rally our troops? How do we bring our people together? How do we get the collective mind working to sit there and say, how can we be more effective and be able to communicate it? If you do need to lay people off, have a strategic plan for it. How are you going to communicate to people so everybody else who's still there isn't still fearing for their jobs? How are you going to manage that process? You need to be thinking about this thing short-term and long-term. How are you going to communicate to people that, you know what, unfortunately, we just don't have the ability to keep you on right now, but we want to take care of you. And here are some ways we can do it. We can keep you on medical. We can maybe top up your payment. We can make sure that when things get better, you are the first person that gets hired back. And look at different ways that you can communicate with those people, even after they're disengaged from the company, to let them know what's going on, to keep them involved, to keep them organized, and let them know what's happening with the company, how it's turning around, what projects you're working on. And maybe if you keep them involved and keep them engaged, when things do turn around, when things get more successful again, those people will be the first people raising their hands going, yeah, I want to come back to work, and I want to come back to work for you. So we need to take a collective breath. We need to sit there and say, where are we today? Where are we going? What are the things that we do well? What are the strengths? What are the things that we have that are a skill set collectively as a company? Never mind what you've always done. Never mind what your factory is set up to produce. How can it be retooled? How can you retool your assembly line? How can you refocus your people? How can you sit there and take the skill set that they have and put it to use for the people that desperately need it? Because there are people out there that are totally overwhelmed. They need your help. They need your services. They need what you can offer. And it's a matter of building teams and sit there and say, look, let us be a back-end source for you. Let us be someone who can provide this service for you. Let us be the ones who can, provide this part of the piece of the pie that you need. I have a friend of mine that has a tooling plant. They are desperately looking for companies right now that are looking to make components for the healthcare industry. And what they're doing is they're just providing small components. It may not be an overall win. They may not be as busy as they used to be, but you know what? What they're doing is they're helping move the process along. They're keeping their people, employed. They're keeping the assembly lines moving, and they're doing something different. They're being creative, and they're communicating. And we need to constantly communicate on a daily, weekly basis. We need to have leadership saying, this is where we are. This is where we're going. These are the challenges that we're having. These are the opportunities. These are our strengths. These are our weaknesses. How can we work together? And I want to hear ideas from everybody, because everybody's ideas have to be valid. Everybody's ideas have to be something that can work with you. Now, this is a weekly series. Every week, I'm going to be coming out with another video, and you can find it on my YouTube channel under YouTube.com/Getting You Noticed under the Leadership tab. We want to help you out. If I can help you, my name is Ben Baker. My company is Your Brand Marketing, and you can always reach me at ben@yourbrandmarketing.com or 604-512-7174. I wish you health, I wish you success, and I wish you successful leadership.